everyone, my name is Hailey Elizabeth, and today we are going to be talking about some crazy conspiracies that have been circulating specifically on TikTok recently. I also want to mention that in this video, I did put timestamps, like chapters of all of the different conspiracy theories that I'm going to be talking about. So if you're like, this one's bunk, let me go to this one, right there, it's all for you. So yeah, with all that being said, let us get into today's conspiracy theories because there are a bunch to get through. But before getting into all that, I do want to give a big thank you to the sponsor of today's episode, BOMBAS. Now, if you guys don't know what BOMBAS is a comfort-focused, premium-based brand with a mission to help those in need. Socks, underwear, and t-shirts are actually the top 3 most requested clothing items at homeless shelters. So BOMBAS decided to take that and donate 1 pair of socks, a t-shirt, or underwear to a person in need with every purchase made on their site. And BOMBAS has actually already donated over 100 million clothing items. BOMBAS socks are not like any other socks you've ever worn. BOMBAS actually has built-in arch support, no annoying toe seams, as well as socks for pretty much any occasion like hiking, running, and even dressing up and going out. And BOMBAS doesn't just have socks either. They actually have just as comfortable t-shirts, underwear, bralettes, slippers. And speaking of slippers, I recently just bought from BOMBAS, and one of the things that I decided to try out were their slippers, and oh my god, are these things so comfortable. They have this teddy bear material all throughout the slipper for maximum comfort, and they also have this hard bottom, so you could even just wear them out running errands. I decided to get the blue color because I thought that was cute, and I've been wearing these slippers non-stop around the house because sometimes like I forget they're even on my feet. And also from BOMBAS, I decided to pick up 2 pairs of socks. The first pair of socks that I picked up was the black sheer calf socks, which these are a little bit see-through. I've been wearing these a lot recently with my black heels, so these are the perfect things to just slip on just to add like a little bit of something extra to your outfit. And the second pair of socks that I got from BOMBAS, these are the medium knee-high merino wool blend, and these, I'm not even lying, are the socks for the upcoming fall. Like, since these socks are knee-high, I've actually been like scrunching them up and wearing them into my boots and my loafers, and oh my god, like as I said, these are just the perfect socks for fall time. Like, I'm about to go to a pumpkin patch this Friday, and these socks will literally be on my feet. Overall, I just love BOMBAS, and I know you guys will too. And actually, BOMBAS is actually right now giving all of their new customers 20% off by going to bombas.com/haileyelizabeth and using my code Hailey20 at checkout. Feel good and do good, knowing that your purchase is doing real good. New customers will get 20% off their BOMBAS purchase by going to bombas.com/haileyelizabeth and using the code Hailey20 at checkout. And once again, thank you so much to BOMBAS for sponsoring today's video. Now back to your video. So the first conspiracy theory that we are going to get into is the Beyonce Illuminati conspiracy, obviously, because this one is insane. The lore runs so deep, you can't even see it anymore. So as I said in the beginning, a lot of you guys have definitely seen the conspiracy theories of Beyonce and the Illuminati. And when I first saw all these conspiracy theories going around, I didn't really know like what it was about. So for those who have heard about it but don't really know much about it, let me break it all down for you. So ever since the 90s, Beyonce has been a huge part of the music industry. And she's also married to Jay-Z, who is also a very big figure in like the more shady side of Hollywood. So first we're gonna start off with the "thank you Beyonce" that you maybe have heard people saying a lot right now as jokes. So people kind of started to realize a trend of multiple celebrities winning things such as Grammys or awards, and every time they win the award, even if the genre of which they're winning in has nothing to do with like the genre that Beyonce's in, even if they have really no public correlation to Beyonce. The first clip that ever really went viral of someone thanking Beyonce for their award was Britney Spears at the MTV Music Awards. So when Britney Spears won her award, while she was winning her award, in the beginning of the speech, it was pretty normal until about mid-speech, she starts going on a rant rant basically thanking Beyonce and everything that Beyonce has done for her. But the weird part about this clip is that you can literally see Britney Spears is reading off of a screen. Usually whenever you speak, you say like or you know, very natural, but you can see Britney's eyes darting across the screen as if she's reading something.
This award means so much to me, especially on the night before Michael Jackson's birthday. He had such a huge influence on me, Gaga, and our next performer, Beyonce. Beyonce and I started out around the same time, and just like all of her fans, I fell in love with her. The first time I saw her, from her singing to dancing to acting, she can do it all. She's a triple threat and one of the most talented people I've ever seen.
I've had the privilege of being around her gift and knowing what an incredible artist and kind woman she is. Beyonce is a beautiful soul. There's nobody like Beyonce.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Beyonce.
And why in the world would she even be thanking Beyonce specifically? As I said, these are celebrities that don't have major correlations with Beyonce, yet here they are thanking Beyonce for everything that she's done for them. And I don't know if you caught at the end of that clip, but when Britney is done giving her speech, calling Beyonce a genius, there's a look of disgust on her face for like maybe a quick second once she reads the words, she's a genius, as if she kind of regrets what she just said. So once this clip went viral, it was very, very obvious that Britney was reading something. And it's just so odd to so many people that a part that was supposed to look very genuine looks very rehearsed. And what would even be the point of someone writing that all out just so Britney could thank Beyonce? Like, if she really was thanking Beyonce, wouldn't it just make more sense to like confess her love and say the speech in the moment? It was also the only part of her speech that she did read off the screen for. So once this clip went viral, after that, a lot of people started to notice that a lot of celebrities, again, celebrities that really have no correlation with Beyonce, are seen thanking Beyonce in their speeches, such as Lizzo, and one of the more weirder ones, Adele. Now, I say this is the more weirder ones because of the whole clip in general. So I'm basically just gonna show you the whole clip right now, and then when you get back, we're gonna talk about it. Hey doll, me popping in here. So the next clip that I was going to include of Adele at the Grammys, I tried to upload this video 2 times, and both times it got blocked, as in nobody could see it. I tried to mute the audio at first, that didn't work, and so the second time I muted the audio, and then I also put this like crazy black and white noir filter, and it still detected it. So unfortunately, for the next part of this video, if you haven't seen the Adele clip, I will leave the link to it in the description box. I know it's so annoying, but if you haven't watched the clip, go watch the clip and then come back when you're done. I'm sorry, but you know, this is just what you have to do when the government doesn't want you to know the things that I'm telling you about. Like, this is just the loopholes that we have to figure out. So anyway, enjoy the video. I love you. Happy Halloween. And once again, it's just so weird because, like, I don't know, don't kill me for this, but isn't Adele kind of like a better singer than Beyonce? Obviously, I'm kidding, but like, you know, like I don't know, like Adele's a grown woman. She's able to be proud of herself. And like, it wasn't like Beyonce made the album and the song for Adele and did all of that hard work that Adele did to get her name out there for Adele. But going into like the even weirder parts about this whole clip is that, as you notice in the beginning, she's talking about her husband and saying that the last time she was up there, she was actually pregnant with her son, and now her son is in in the world. But for some reason, throughout that entire speech, she's only tearing up, especially when talking about her husband and her kid. But the second that Adele thanks Beyonce, she starts sobbing, crying as if she's putting on a show for Beyonce. Now, what's even crazier about this clip that I realized, and I didn't really see people talking about it, was that as you can see, when Adele thanks Beyonce, like when she says the words, and I just want to thank Beyonce, the camera isn't even pointing at Beyonce when Adele says that. It's actually pointing at Adele's husband's face. And now it gets even weirder because the second that Adele says the word Beyonce, you can see for a quick second that his expression just drops. Like,
my artist of my life is Beyonce.
His eyes soften, his mouth opens a little bit as if he's a bit shocked. And what makes this even crazier is that Adele, when she's in her speech and saying, I just want to thank Beyonce, and she starts crying, it goes on to her husband, and then it cuts not to Beyonce, but to Adele for only 2 seconds. But in that 2 seconds, you can see that while she's crying, thanking Beyonce, she's not even looking at Beyonce. She's looking at her husband on the other side of the room until towards the end of the speech, she looks down in the bottom right corner and starts thanking Beyonce to her face. So I don't know. This is just kind of like my theory in that, like, maybe Adele wasn't going to thank Beyonce at first and her husband was on board with that. And then at the last second, Adele, for some reason, ended up actually thanking Beyonce still, which left her husband shocked. But also, like, maybe the Academy that was putting on the Grammys were in on it and they wanted to film her husband's reaction because her husband was like against it, because why else would his expression drop like that? If they're married, then Adele probably told him that she was going to thank Beyonce. Why would it even be that big of a deal if her and Beyonce are actually really close? And then towards the end, Adele literally breaks her Grammy in half and gives the other half to Beyonce, as if she doesn't have enough full-sized ones already. But again, I don't really know. That's my own personal conspiracy theory, because this actually wouldn't be the first time that someone was not going to thank Beyonce when they should have. And this kind of goes into like my next little tidbit about Beyonce. Oh my god, girl, I'm so happy you guys love conspiracies, because IRL, people could care less about this. So I'm so happy like I have someone to talk about this with. Basically, the very famous clip at the 2009 VMAs where Taylor Swift had won her award for Video of the Year. You probably have seen the clip. She's going to accept her award. She's saying her speech, and then in the middle of her speech, Kanye West runs up on stage and he says, quote, "Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time."
Thank you so much for giving me a chance to win a VMA award.
Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. One of the best videos of all time.
So you probably have seen this clip, and a lot of people after this kind of thought that like Taylor Swift and Kanye West had beef for some reason, but a lot of people were very confused because North West, which is Kanye West's daughter, is a huge fan of Taylor Swift. She loves Taylor Swift, and she even FaceTimes North West all the time and like is friends with Kim Kardashian. So a lot of people were wondering, if Taylor Swift really does hate Kanye and the whole Kardashian family, then why is she seen being so close with the family? And so this is where the conspiracy theory comes in, that there is some animosity between Beyonce and Taylor Swift. A lot of people notice that some of the people that start to hang around with Taylor Swift just end up becoming super weird, kind of demonic. Ice Spice is a really big example. Ever since she started hanging around with Taylor Swift, she kind of just switched her whole entire image and started started to become a little bit more demonic. And it was said that Beyonce and Taylor Swift did not really get off on the best of terms. And so because of this, Taylor Swift was supposed to thank Beyonce during her speech, but she wasn't. And she was pretty firm on her choice that she wasn't. So Kanye West heard about this and he was really scared of what was going to happen to Taylor if she didn't thank Beyonce. And so as a way to save her, he got up on stage and said, "Thank you, Beyonce," basically for her, so that hopefully whatever consequence she gets because of that, it won't really be as bad, because he technically did go up there and just thank Beyonce for her. But a lot of people try to refute this and say, no, Kanye West actually does hate Taylor Swift, because he one time in a song said the quote, like, "I feel like me and Taylor can still have sex. I made that famous." Not me singing it, but a lot of people say that in that part of that song, that's literally what he's talking about. He did make Taylor Swift famous, because if she wouldn't have thanked Beyonce, who knows if she just would have been someone that no one really talks about anymore. And even though I only talked about a few celebrity speeches where they're thanking Beyonce, there's actually so much more than that. And a common trend that you see in these speeches where people are thanking Beyonce, they always make sure to say that Beyonce is still, even though they had won this award, they say that Beyonce in some way is still better than them. Like in the Britney Spears, she says that Beyonce is a genius. And in Adele's speech, she goes on like a rant saying how amazing Beyonce is. And oh my God, there was actually this other clip too. I don't know what award show it was, but it was basically when Beyonce and Megan Thee Stallion had won their award for the Savage song that they had made. What's so weird about this is that as they're walking like down the stage after accepting an award that both of them just got, I don't think he was the host, I think he was just one of the personalities on the show, he literally stops the applause, stops the entire show just to look straight at the camera and hype up Beyonce.
And yeah, just thank you, Houston. We did it.
I just want to quickly give my love to Megan. I have so much respect for you, and I'm honored that you asked me to be a part of the song. And I just want to say, Houston, we love you. Thank you, Grammys.
Thank you. I'm so proud of you.
Megan and Beyonce, congratulations, congratulations. Before you leave the stage, I just wanted to say this. We want everybody to know that right now, Grammy history has been made. Because with that award, Beyonce has just tied the all-time record for most Grammy wins ever by a female artist and by any singer, male or female. So congratulations, Queen Bee. Beyonce is tied at 27 Grammys. Tied at 27 Grammys. What an achievement. Wow. Ladies.
Saying once again that although Megan was a part of this award, she should not overshadow Beyonce, because she is the one that's making history tonight. Again, it's just so weird how people keep on idolizing Beyonce for all of this. I think there was also a clip where a country singer had thanked Beyonce, which was so weird because Beyonce has only done one country album.
I just want to say I'm a country artist, and the fact that Beyonce made a country record changed the game. So thank you. I'm gonna go back to Nashville now.
Incredible is it to be in the Renaissance album was supposed to be her country album. It's not even really country. It's kind of like pop with a little bit of country in it, pop with a little bit of slang that sounds like country. And there's also this really, really crazy conspiracy. Oh my God, when I was reading about this was actually insane. So the theory is, for decades, every single time Beyonce goes on a really big world tour, it's alleged that she will make a sacrifice to someone that is really, really big in the music industry that she fears will trump her over like in the charts and just become bigger than her. A really big conspiracy about all of this is that Beyonce was the one that killed Aaliyah. Aaliyah at the time in the 90s years, when Beyonce was starting her solo music career, Aaliyah was topping charts and was one of the biggest singers at the time. And then at the height of her career, she actually died in a private jet accident, to which the pilot for this jet, he didn't have a license. He didn't have like any of the requirements that you need to be a private jet pilot. The story goes is that they basically just forced her onto the plane, and then all of a sudden this plane just nosedives into the middle of nowhere, and it kills both Aaliyah and the driver of the plane. So a lot of people conspiracize that maybe Beyonce had to do something with that. So kind of going back to her world tour conspiracy theory, that makes me think that the Aaliyah theory isn't really that crazy. Once again, every single time Beyonce goes on tour, a big celebrity dies, but a really big trend is that they never die in natural causes, like in a heart attack or like a disease or something like that. They always die in a very specific way, such as like an overdose or an accident. Like for example, Beyonce in 2009, when she started her I Am World Tour in March, and then 3 months later, that's when Michael Jackson dies of a quote-unquote overdose. Now, stay with me. Her next world tour that she went on in February of 2012, her Mrs. Carter tour, in that same month, February of 2012, that's when Whitney Houston passes away in her bathtub from drowning for her Formation tour. Her tour started in April of 2016, and in that same exact month of April 2016, Prince dies of a quote-unquote overdose. And the same thing goes for her Run 2 tour in June of 2018. That same exact year, 3 months later in September, that's when Mac Miller dies of a quote-unquote overdose. So that is where the theory stems from, that every time Beyonce goes on a world tour, she performs some sort of witchcraft and ritual in order to kill off someone in the music industry that she fears will become bigger than her. And this actually, again, isn't that wild, because Beyonce's assistant was on a podcast, and in that podcast, she would go on to say and confirm that Beyonce considers herself as a witch, and her assistant herself is also a witch, and they all perform witchcraft together.
So, do you consider yourself a witch?
Oh, I am a witch, but I don't do hexes for everybody though.
Should I be scared?
No.
Oh, okay. I didn't know, because you know they tell me Beyonce's a witch and shit like that.
Oh,
that
she
we
is.
should be scared. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she's an Ifa. So when she wears her yellow, that's Oshun.
Oh.
You know, riches and beauty and love and all of that, which I can see why she's connected to Oshun. But yeah, so it's another kind of tradition.
Okay.
Like a lot of people would think it's voodoo, but it's really Ifa. So it's like a lifestyle as opposed to religion.
Because I always wonder why she always got on them flowers and she got on that elaborate shit. I'm like, can't nobody buy your clothes? Your clothes look different.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
She probably gives her, so she has her own altar. She gives her food. She has parties for her. All of that. Just like Summer Walker.
In that clip, you can also see that her assistant mentions another really famous singer by the name of Summer Walker, and also takes note that Beyonce has altars and she's a very successful witch. And I mean, Beyonce has been doing really shady stuff for the longest time. I mean, let us not forget that one clip where she was pregnant with Blue Ivy. I think she was on some talk show, and she went to go sit down and her stomach literally deflated as if she wasn't pregnant. So once again, like you could literally create 3 conspiracy theories out of that as well. And also another really big part of like the Beyonce conspiracy web is that there was this one thing that I kept on seeing when I was researching this, of people saying that there were songs being deleted online, certain songs that had to do with Beyonce, but also like the P. Diddy parties, which I'm not even gonna get into right now. There is so much about that. I'm waiting for all the info to be released. But a lot of people kept on saying, and a big song that a lot of people were saying were She Knows by J. Cole. You probably heard of it. It's like that song that goes, she knows, I know she knows, I know she knows. Specifically to that song, people kept on saying things like, oh my God, you guys, they're deleting it. They're trying to wipe it off of the internet. You can't even listen to the song anymore. It's completely gone. And like, I don't know, people were genuinely like like tweaking that this song was gone and like all these songs were gone. But literally, I took the next 2 seconds to look it up on Spotify and it was there. I looked it up on Apple Music, it was there. I looked it up on YouTube. The original, the acoustic, and the Club Jersey remix was literally just there. So like nobody is trying to hide these songs. And I think realistically, it's so hard to wipe popular songs off the internet. Somebody at least somewhere has a copy of it. So if it's not being circulated online, it's going to be circulated offline, and then that gets circulated online. So I don't know. I feel like a lot of people were saying things like that, but I just wanted to clear the record and say no, literally just look it up and it's still there. And so that is all the conspiracy theories that I have with Beyonce and the Illuminati. Now, going along with celebrity conspiracy theories, it kind of has to do with Beyonce, and that is the conspiracy of celebrity clones. So basically, the theory goes that sometimes celebrities will create clones of themselves or hire people that look identical to them, and then these clones will attend award shows, events, sports games. So what is the purpose of having a clone? You would probably think that maybe they created a clone so they could do two things at once and like attend to their business meetings while also being at like a red carpet event. But that wouldn't really make sense in the grand scheme of things. I feel like unless you're doing some shady stuff, you wouldn't really need the use of a clone. And so that is where the conspiracy theory comes in. The theory is that celebrities will have their clones out and about just sitting courtside at sports games, attend award shows, while the real celebrity gets time to do very dark ritualistic things such as perform rituals, do some dirty work with other people, and they wouldn't get caught for it because they know as a celebrity that all eyes are always on them, that they always have cameras around them. So if they send out a clone, they could easily say, well, how could I be performing this thing if clearly you see me sitting courtside at a basketball game? Or how can you say I was doing this because I actually have cameras on me from paparazzi from me getting a coffee during this time? And so kind of in a way, since the cameras are always on them, they're using that to their advantage to create really good alibis, and so that they would never really get caught with any of the shady stuff that they're doing. A lot of people say this is the reason why a lot of celebrities that you see on like red carpets and stuff like that, sometimes they will be seen with sunglasses on. Even Beyonce herself has shown up to red carpet events and sports games wearing sunglasses, which wearing sunglasses inside is already like, girl, what are you doing? A lot of people have put side by side these photos of celebrities interacting with people. You can literally see that the nose is completely different and they just don't look like the same person. This sort of thing has also been shown by Taylor Swift, where there's been pictures of her sitting courtside at sports games. And once again, when you put that side by side with a real picture of her, her forehead size is completely different. Her nose is different. While their clone can be out at these red carpet events, they can go ahead and do ritualistic things and make sacrifices, but not get caught for doing any of that shady stuff because their clone is out there doing the work for them. Now, do I think that they're making like actual clones of these people like in a lab? Yes, I completely imagine no. I feel like the budget on that would probably be crazy. I mean, they have the money for it, but like, I don't know. I just feel like that's a little doing too much. I think it would probably be a lot easier if they just got people that resembled just like them, so that even with sunglasses on, you wouldn't really be able to tell the difference just by glancing or looking at them. Now, moving on from celebrity clones and going into another celebrity conspiracy theory that I thought was kind of interesting, and it is a Grimes conspiracy theory. So for those who don't know, Grimes, aka Elon Musk's ex-wife, in 2015, Grimes had an album come out because she does do music. A lot of people don't know about that, and she's literally a queen. But in 2016, she came out with an album called Art Angels, and supposedly a lot of people say that after listening to that album, they randomly get a weird urge urge to shave their head. And the reason why a lot of people find this odd is that Grimes, surprisingly, has never shaved her head before. She's had very like bold hairstyles, but she's never had a shaved head before. And I know what you may be thinking, well, that's probably because Grime is serving and she's serving constantly, and so maybe the aura of the album just kind of like awakened other people to also serve, which could be a possibility. But there's actually Reddit threads of people all saying that they didn't even have a thought or like an urge to shave their head until they listened to that album. And it doesn't even go to Reddit threads. There's even articles where people have said that they have asked multiple people, and specifically after listening to that album, they get a random urge to want to shave their head. And I think the crazy part is that it's not just one person who's saying this, it's multiple people that are saying that after listening to that album, they specifically got a random urge to shave their head. And now, if you guys don't know, Grimes isn't actually that unfamiliar with subliminal messaging. Grimes has been said to put like subliminal messaging in her song in order to make people do what she wants them to do, and or like just continue being a fan. Well, people ended up doing a little bit of digging and found that Grimes is actually connected to the McGill University in Montreal, which isn't that far away from her hometown in Vancouver. And McGill University is actually the same university that performed MK Ultra. And for anybody that doesn't know what MK Ultra is, MK Ultra was a human experiment program back in the 80s where scientists had developed different like drugs and procedures to perform on people during interrogations to basically get them to confess to certain crimes. And they would get to these answers through brainwashing and psychological torture. And all of these experiments were performed at McGill University. And it was also said that even Grimes' father worked in biotech and was very familiar with hypnosis. And going back to like the subliminal messaging conspiracy theory, there's actually another like little conspiracy about Grimes and her aura in her music video titled Violence that uploaded back in like September of 2019. In the video, this was pre-COVID, but in the video you can see how she's wearing a COVID mask. There's like a conspiracy that maybe she predicted COVID in a way, or she knew what was happening. And also going with that Violence music video, there was also something else suspicious about that video. In the beginning of the video, Grimes is reading a book, and in the music video, it's actually blurred. It was said that it was blurred about like 2 hours after the video was uploaded, like they deleted it, then put it back up. And a lot of people who saw it during that hour said that the book that she was reading was a book called The Art of War. It's basically a book written by a Chinese philosopher named Sun Tzu, and the whole book is about how to maintain power and control and just how to prepare themselves for war psychologically, spiritually, and the kind of strong mind that you need in order to embark on a war. Oh my god, I just realized this side of the screen looks so ethereal, but let me shut the window. Damn, now it's so dark. Now it's very, very dark. But moving away from the purpose of this book, a lot of people also read this book as a way to learn more about power and how to control large groups of people and basically just assert dominance among people. So instead of using things like weapons, physical weapons, in the book, it basically talks about how to use your mind as your greatest weapon. And it teaches you how you can manipulate people and deceive them in a country in order to win the war. But a lot of people take the techniques that they used to use in war and just use it on everyday people, which again also has to go into support of the conspiracy theory that Grimes puts subliminal messaging in her music. As like the second half of this video, I'm going to be doing a little bit more lighter conspiracy theories. So now we're going to get more into like restaurant conspiracy theories. And the first one that I have a bone to pick because it has to do with Domino's pizza. So if any of you guys have ever ordered from Domino's, you probably notice that every time you order, they have this very convenient tracking feature.
Ordering pizza at Domino's used to be kind of boring. boring, but now it's pretty exciting.
And this is a feature that they really pride themselves on because I think they were the first business to ever do this sort of tracking system. And even when you look at Domino Pizza trucks, they have the tracking system on the side of the truck because, again, this is something that they really pride themselves in. So, for example, when you're ordering a pizza at Domino's, there are 4 different stages of your pizza. There's preparing, baking, quality checking, and blank is on its way with like your delivery driver. And so a lot of people believe that this tracking feature is actually fake and it doesn't actually track your order, but it basically gives people a little bit more patience so that if it takes a long time making their order, they don't have to call in and complain or go into the store and scream at them. Instead, they have the convenience of looking at the stages of their pizza. And a lot of people have proven this by like going to the actual Domino's whilst ordering it on mobile order. And while they were making the pizzas, there wasn't any like buttons that they clicked in between each step to show what stage their pizza was at. And I know a lot of people could be like, yeah, no duh, of course that's fake. But like, girl, then why do you still check it? Like, I still check it. Like, Domino's actually also has another feature on like their tracking system. The little car icon is also fake, and they actually don't show you the actual time. Like, there's no trackers on the real cars. Basically, once again, to get impatient people to not call in and complain to the store if they feel like their order is taking too long. People again have sort of proved this by when their Domino's order apparently is down the street, but then a little glitch happens with the app, and then all of a sudden now their driver is 4 minutes away.
Richard sat in his car for a couple minutes and then actually left the parking lot at 8:52 p.m. During the delivery, the ETA changed several times, which was a little confusing because this time it didn't indicate that Richard had any other orders that he was fulfilling. When he turned onto the street, the tracker was showing that he was less than a minute away, but then it updated to 3 minutes away even though he was just several houses down. And the tracker seemed to glitch here, like the car just stopped moving for several minutes.
And so that again should right there tell you that most likely this tracking system is not accurate and it is fake. And I don't know why, I just think this conspiracy is so crazy, mostly because they literally pride themselves on this. Like, they make sure to let everybody know that they were the first ones to do something like this. And as I said, they even have it on like their Domino's trucks, and then they go and just do all of that, and in the end it's just all fake. Now, this is a conspiracy theory that you may or may not have heard, but it is the mobile order conspiracy. And basically what people have done to test this theory is that, so if you've ever ordered food online through like an app like Uber Eats or Postmates, you may or may not have noticed that sometimes when you get your mobile order, it looks nothing to where if you were to just get it in the store. A lot of people that have worked specifically at Chipotle have come out and said that they are actually asked to put less food in the mobile orders versus the actual in-house orders. And this is also something that's super prevalent with Panda Express as well, because in person, when you see the person making your food, you can visually see the amount of food that you're getting. Usually when you're mobile ordering, it's because you don't want to leave your house. So if they messed up your order in some sort of way, you're not going to get in your car and go back. You're just going to deal with it. And people have actually tested this theory again by buying something in person versus buying something over mobile order. And the difference between the two is so extreme. And also, this is like another conspiracy theory that I saw going around. It kind of has to do with the mobile order. Well, not really, but like basically in those types of restaurants, as I said, like Chipotle and Panda Express, where they make the food in front of you, if the person making your food sees you recording them making their food, most of the time when people are doing that, they're doing it because they are like filming it for TikTok. So the employees are actually instructed that when they see someone filming to really do a lot of food. That's why whenever you like scroll through TikTok and you see all of like these Chipotle mukbangs with like the huge burritos and huge bowls, you literally sit there and you're like, wait, why doesn't my Chipotle look like that? Or why doesn't like my Panda Express look like that? And it's literally because they are instructed to make sure to really load it up. So assuming that person is probably going to put their reaction to the food on camera, and then it'll get everyone who watches that video a craving for Chipotle or a craving for Panda Express because it looks so delicious. So this next one is the Nutter Butter conspiracy theory. And I know what you're thinking. You probably haven't heard of a Nutter Butter since like 2008. But recently, Nutter Butter has gone off the rails a little bit. I don't know if you've seen, especially on Instagram Reels, Nutter Butter has recently been posting some really crazy, like scary backroom sort of advertisement for Nutter Butters.
Peanut butter jelly filling up its middle, and is peanut shaped and crunchy.
Milk.
A lot of people believe that maybe the CEO of Nutter Butter is just going crazy and trying to put out, once again, like subliminal messages and trying to create like a very eerie and offset feeling. So there's two conspiracies to why they may be doing this. The first one being that this is just a publicity stunt. Maybe Nutter Butter is just doing this as a way to create buzz and get people talking about them again. As I said, haven't heard of a Nutter Butter since 2008. Whereas other people think it's actually a lot darker than that. A lot of people believe that maybe they're doing this as a way to like put subliminal messaging in their videos as a way to get more people eating Nutter Butters. And I don't know, I thought this was like a little bit wild to me. Like even the posts are so scary. Nutter Butters are supposed to be for children. Like they're kind of, I don't know, I feel like any candy or cookie brand is most of the time targeted towards children. And a lot of people said that after watching these videos, they don't really feel comfortable buying Nutter Butters anymore because they don't really know what they're supporting. Now, as I said, a possible other conspiracy was that maybe the CEO of Nutter Butter was just going crazy and posting all these different things. So the owner of Nutter Butter is actually a company by the name of the BOMBAS International, and the company CEO is a man named Dirk van de Put. And so the BOMBAS International company actually owns a bunch of other different brands as well, such as Oreo, Chips Ahoy, Ritz, Belvita, and the owner is also 64 years old. And so a lot of people were like thinking there's no way that this 65-year-old man was going to greenlight something like this, especially having the reputation of their other brands on the line as well. Because, you know, again, like it could just be all one publicity stunt, but at the same time, like, what if it's not? Like, what if it's literally not a conspiracy? You know, it's just kind of like the fear of it, what if? And so people just don't really feel comfortable buying them anymore. And so this next conspiracy theory isn't really like a conspiracy. I just thought it was hilarious. Now, for those who don't know, at Disney Worlds, they actually have audio automatronic figures of all 45 presidents in a certain part of their park. It opened back in like October of 1971 along with Magic Kingdom. And what's funny about this is that in the election of 2016 with Trump versus Hillary Clinton, Disney World was so convinced that Hillary Clinton was going to win the election because why would Trump win? But they were so convinced that Hillary Clinton was going to win that they actually already started the very long process of creating a robot for Hillary Clinton's statue in this part of the park. But at the last second, as you all know, Donald Trump actually won. And so at the last second, Disney World basically had to recreate this robot to make it look like Donald Trump. But when you look at pictures of like Donald Trump's statue at Disney World, tell me this does not look like Hillary Clinton. Like, I can't explain it. Those are the feminine and eyes of Hillary Clinton. Like, that is not Donald Trump. And so for our last conspiracy theory, we are going to be talking about the Doomsday Map conspiracy theory, which I thought was really, really interesting, but I wanted to save it to the end because I didn't really have like a category for it. So a lot of you guys have probably just heard in passing the conspiracy of billionaires buying land, creating underground bunkers for an end of the world scenario so that the average people die, but the rich people get lucky because they have the finances to keep themselves alive if worst comes to worst. And the term for these people are billionaire bunkers. So at first this was just a conspiracy theory until some real information about Bill Gates came out. So if you guys have never heard of the Doomsday Map, basically it's a map that predicts what the earth would look like if the earth ever suffered some sort of catastrophic flood, like which places in the world are the safest to be. And according to Forbes, they actually said in an article, quote, according to several prognosticators and much criticized theorists, here is a detailed list of predicted land changes based on geological positioning. And they basically released a map based on future pole shift predictions. To break it down, the map claims that parts of Africa, some islands in Indonesia, the high mountains of India, Antarctica, Australia, land from Sicily to Sardinia in Italy are the places in the world that would suffer the worst of the catastrophic flood. So if you live there, try not to live there for too long. And the best places in the world to be if we were to suffer a catastrophic flood would be New Zealand. So if you live in New Zealand, don't budge for a very long time. Okay, so now that you've seen the map, let's get into Bill Gates and his map of different lands that he owns. And basically when you line up the map of Bill Gates and the map of like the best places to be, you can literally see that Bill Gates has bought tons of land in the parts of the map that has lots of land poking out. Like for example, in California, the taxes are high, I'm assuming. There's probably tons and tons of great land opportunities out there, but for some reason, Bill Gates, the billionaire, owns very little to no land in California. He only owns 4,000 acres of land, to which if you were to look to somewhere like Nebraska, he owned 20,000 acres of land. And if you look on the Doomsday Map, Nebraska is looking pretty dry. And same thing with Arizona and New Mexico, totaling over 26,000 acres of dry land. And yeah, that is the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I had a blast talking about all these conspiracy theories with you. Make sure to leave in the comments below what you think about these conspiracy theories. Let me know your thoughts on Beyonce. Let me know your thoughts on the Doomsday Map. Let me know your thoughts on that bunk that bunk Domino's tracking order. I'm on to you. Let me know your thoughts about that. Let me know your thoughts on the Grimes conspiracy theory. Have you listened to the music and also shaved your head? Let me know in the comments below. Does that Disney statue really do look like Donald Trump, or does it just look like Donald Trump wearing Hillary Clinton's face? Let me know in the comments below. That is all from me. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day today. And I also want to thank Beyonce for helping me make this video. She has honestly been such a big inspiration of mine. I love her. I think, you know, Love on Top was really one of my jams, and she's a genius and I love her. And she's also innocent until proven guilty. So yeah, anyway, thank you, Beyonce. But yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day today. Make sure to get outside today, get some fresh air, get some sunlight, drink your water, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day today. And as always, I love you, I love you, I love you, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.